Now, live. This is Fox 21 Morning News right now.
Welcome back to Fox 21 Morning News on this Friday, July 8th. I am Craig Coffey.
And I'm Macy Eglund in for Kimberly Price. Well, we continue to follow the Dallas sniper situation. We'll have the latest on that for you coming up in just a bit. But first, we want to head right over to Chief Meteorologist Justin Chambers for your first look forecast.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We are talking about things that are a little bit calmer now than they were just a while ago.
7:03 right now and breaking overnight. New information this hour as authorities say the suspected sniper in a standoff with Dallas police overnight was killed by a remotely detonated explosive robot aimed at taking out the shooter.
This hours after 5 officers were killed and several others were hurt during an attack targeting law enforcement at a protest march.
The Dallas police chief says the suspect exchanged gunfire with officers from a downtown parking garage for 45 minutes. He claimed the end is coming and also said that he had bombs planted across the city to hurt more officers. An extensive sweep, though, of that found that not to be true. Authorities say 5 officers were shot and killed. 6 more were shot and injured.
Police also say at least 1 civilian was injured by gunfire, but the shooter appeared to be targeting cops. It happened at the end of an otherwise peaceful march, and as demonstrators scattered, some were injured in the rush to get to safety. Police now say 3 people are in custody and describe what appears to be a coordinated plot. Parts of downtown Dallas will be closed off today.
Well, just moments ago this morning, the Dallas Area Rapid Transit released a photo of one of the fallen officers. He is Brent Thompson, and the first person killed in the line of duty in the 27-year history of the DART Authority. His chief called him a great man who served admirably during his 7 years on the force. DART extended its condolences to the families of other 4 officers. President Obama spoke earlier today from Poland about these deadly attacks.
We are horrified over these events, and that we stand united with the people and the police department in Dallas.
The president had strong words saying there's no possible justification for attacks on police. He also said he had expressed condolences to the mayor of Dallas and indicated that the FBI is involved in this investigation.
Now, the presumptive presidential nominees are also responding to the Dallas police shootings this morning. Donald Trump tweeted out, quote, "Prayers and condolences to all the families who are so thoroughly devastated by the horrors we are all watching take place in our country."
Meanwhile, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says she will postpone her campaign event today in Scranton, Pennsylvania. She was scheduled to appear with Vice President Joe Biden and was expected to discuss the recent police-involved shooting deaths of 2 African-American men. Clinton's decision to postpone today's event was in response to last night's deadly attack on police in Dallas.
Also last night in downtown Denver, 2 protests were held following the deaths of 2 black men in police-involved shootings in Minnesota and Louisiana earlier this week.
On Tuesday, police in Baton Rouge shot and killed a man outside of a convenience store. Amateur video captured that incident. And on Wednesday, police in St. Paul, Minnesota shot a man sitting in a car during a traffic stop. The man's girlfriend, who was also in that car, live streamed the aftermath on Facebook.
And the events in Denver were just 2 of the number of protests which took place in cities across the country. Diverse crowds came together to protest the police killings of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. Now, Castile's mother, she spoke at demonstrators in St. Paul and called for an economic boycott to bring attention to the killings of black men.
About 1,000 people marched up New York's 5th Avenue chanting Black Lives Matter, and more were arrested when they blocked traffic on Times Square. Also in Washington, D.C., protesters marched from the White House to the Capitol.
7:06 right now to politics, where a high-profile gun bill pushed by House Republican leaders remains in a limbo because key blocks of conservatives oppose it, and GOP leaders, well, they can't get enough votes to pass it.
Yeah, House Speaker Paul Ryan acknowledged he had work to do with his own members to get consensus on his legislation, which is part of an anti-terrorism package of measures he and other leaders drafted and plan to vote on this week. The speaker also vowed Democrats would face sanctions for the 25-hour sit-in they launched last month on the House floor that delayed legislative business and forced GOP leaders to cut their voting schedule short.
Well, next, the State Department will reopen its probe into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server while Secretary of State.
The move was expected as the department suspended its investigation to allow the Department of Justice to conduct its own probe. Earlier this week, Attorney General Loretta Lynch announced no one would face charges in connection to the case.
The State Department probe will focus on whether current employees should be punished for how they handle Clinton's emails. Former employees investigated could face problems seeking future federal employment if found guilty.
Next, FBI Director James Comey wrapped up a full day of testifying before the House Oversight Committee. He explained his team's decision not to press criminal charges against Hillary Clinton for keeping a private email server during her time as Secretary of State.
Comey says his job was to find evidence Clinton intentionally shared classified information, and he admits that she wasn't truthful publicly about her use of a private server, but did not lie to the FBI.
Comey also defended the decision not to recommend charges to justice. The hearing lasted for nearly 5 hours.
7:08 now, and a hearing on Capitol Hill is examining the results of a 6-month investigation into misconduct at the TSA.
The House Homeland Security Committee released a report concluding TSA misconduct is threatening the security of the flying public. Using TSA data, it found misconduct grew by nearly 29% from fiscal year 2013 and 2015.
Now, while the number of misconduct allegations has increased, the TSA conducted fewer investigations into misconduct and took fewer disciplinary actions against workers.
The report acknowledges changes made by the current administrator to improve the agency, but expressed uncertainty about how the agency will continue to address misconduct. Now, the report is the result of a joint investigation by 2 subcommittees.
All right, parents, pay attention now for a safety alert as Pacific Cycle recalls more than 217,000 strollers over concerns about the front swivel wheels.
Yeah, they say the wheels could dislocate, causing children to crash and fall. There have already been 132 reports of the front wheel becoming loose or unstable, resulting in 215 injuries, including bumps, bruises, abrasions, and lacerations.
The following strollers in the recall are In-Step Safari, In-Step Grand Safari, In-Step Flight, Schwinn Turissimo, and Schwinn Discover. For more information and a full list of all recalled products, it's available on the Consumer Product Safety Commission website.
It is 7:09. Well, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security now issues a stern warning to the public. Symantec, one of the most popular security tools protecting government, corporate, and personal computers, has many critical holes which could let hackers into those devices.
The alert specifies that all Symantec and Norton branded antivirus products could allow hackers to take control of the computer, and it's widespread problem. Symantec Vice President for Security said the company did issue some fixes last week and are currently in place with updates available.
It is 7:10. Well, happening tonight is the next drawing for the Mega Millions lottery jackpot, which has now reached an estimated $540 million.
Finally, some good news, right?
Right.
Yes. Now, this has a cash-out value of $380 million, which is just fine.
Oh, you bet.
They can keep $200 million. That's all right. Officials do say that significant public and media interest, besides the millions of dollars at stake, has spurred an onslaught of new ticket buyers willing to try their luck. That surge could actually increase and push the jackpot even higher before tonight's next Mega Millions drawing. Yeah,
this is the 7th biggest jackpot of all time, including Powerball and Mega Millions prizes.
Exciting. Yeah. 7:10 right now. Well, hey, Brewfest is happening in southern Colorado.
Yeah, where you can attend this event and others in your weekend scene. That's coming up next.
You're watching Fox 21 Morning News with Kimberly Price, Craig Coffey, and Chief Meteorologist Justin Chambers. This is Fox 21 News right now.
There's a lot to do around southern Colorado this weekend.
Yeah, tonight the Colorado Springs Astronomical Society is hosting its monthly free public viewing and star party. Club members bring out their telescopes to show you the rings of Saturn, Jupiter, star clusters, galaxies, nebulas, and more. The event will be held at Palmer Park, starts at 8:30 p.m.
And the 26th annual Pride Fest is going on in Colorado Springs this weekend at the America the Beautiful Park. Family Day is on Saturday and will feature food, entertainment, and games. On Sunday, a parade will begin at Tejon and Cimarron. and lead to the park. Official parties, though, will be hosted by Club Q, and those start tonight.
And finally, join Fox 21 News and iHeartRadio at the inaugural Steers and Beers 5K in Brewfest on Saturday. Now, the event kicks off the 76th annual Pikes Peak or Bust Rodeo. Now, a 5K run through Bear Creek Park starts at 10 a.m. and beer will be served at the finish line for runners 21 years and older, of course.
After that, though, there's going to be a brew fest at the Norris Penrose Event Center and performances throughout the day by country singer Craig Campbell and pop punk band Simple Plan. For more information, head to their website at steersandbeersbrewfest.com.
Wasn't sure Simple Plan was still kicking. That's awesome. Good for them. Well, hey, it is 7:19. Well, sleep problems can put you at risk for many health issues.
Yes, what one study now says about its link to type 2 diabetes. It's a Fox 21 health alert coming up in about 4 minutes. Hang on. It is 7:23. Welcome back to Fox 21 Morning News on this Friday. Nice looking shot right there, looking towards Cheyenne Mountain from our studios.
Beautiful shot. And of course, Justin Chambers is following that active weather that we have going on around the region. He will have another look at your forecast there in just a little bit.
All right, well, in this morning's health alert, you know, we all love our dogs here in Colorado, and whether you're camping, hiking, or at the lake, outdoor adventures are great pastimes during this time of year, but they can pose a threat to your dogs if you're taking them along for the fun. Yeah,
when summer arrives, we take all sorts of precautions against the heat and blistering sun, and it's important to do the same for your four-legged friends. So something as simple as walking along the sidewalk can be potentially dangerous.
A good rule of thumb, though, if you think the pavement is too hot to walk barefoot, well, it's also too hot for your dog. And when it comes to getting sunburn, our pets are no exception. Just like humans, dog skin can turn red, become sensitive, even blister or scab. A simple solution to protect your dogs from UV rays is to apply sunscreen for infants.
Also, having water accessible sounds like a no-brainer, but sometimes it's hard to tell if your dog is actually dehydrated. Experts say one sure way to tell is just check your dog's gums. If they feel dry or sticky, well, they definitely need some water.
All right, next, a new study suggesting not getting the right amount of sleep could put men at risk for type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, researchers studied 788 healthy men and women participating in a larger health study, and the average sleep time for both men and women was about 7 hours. Now, as the men diverged from the average, either by sleeping too much or not enough, their glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity decreased, gradually increasing the detrimental health effects.
Now, women did not have the same association, and researchers don't know why. However, they do caution this was a cross-section study and draw no conclusions about cause and effect.
And now mosquito experts in South Georgia are keeping a close watch on the mosquito population in an effort to keep the Zika virus at bay.
Entomologists trap and study mosquitoes under the microscope, and they're looking for markings, colorings on the abdomen, and wing patterns to try and find a way to test mosquitoes for Zika. The CDC says that more than 1,100 cases of the virus have been reported in the U.S.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Justin Chambers still tracking that active weather for you guys. He joins us now with the latest.
Yeah, right now looking good here in Colorado Springs. You guys just showed that shot of Cheyenne Mountain.
Welcome back for today's Friday Flicks. The Secret Life of Pets asks the question, what do our pets do all day when we're not home? This is a big question.
It is.
Well, a terrier named Max is turned upside down when his owner takes in a stray mutt.
Yeah, their feud eventually causes both of them to get lost, and they have to work together to find their way home. Now, this movie, The Secret Life of Pets, is rated PG.
After seeing this trailer for the first time when it first came out like months and months ago, I have waited so long to see this movie.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Me too. And they've been promoting it for forever because they know everyone wants to see it.
Right.
It's going to be great, that's for sure. It is 7:57 and we'll be right back.
But first, here is today's Pledge of Allegiance.